Hey guys, it's Walk Around Wednesday. Thanks for joining us during this JumpStart program. We've done a couple of days already, so you should be slowly getting into that routine of waking up 15 minutes prior to the time that you usually do. That way you can start to get this routine as far as like warming up the body, stretching, foam rolling, and really having this time allotted for yourself. All right, today is Wednesday. We're gonna call this Walk Around Wednesday. We're just focusing on the hips and on the feet today. We're sitting for long periods of time, whether that's driving, at the office, at the couch, wherever we're sitting. Let's try to open things up in through the hips and work on the feet as well. Hope you enjoy. Alright, Walk Around Wednesday. Once again, we're going to start with 45 seconds of jumping jacks. Take slow and controlled jumping jacks. Once again, this is pretty tough for 45 seconds if you haven't done it in a while. Just trying to elevate the heart rate, get the blood going to where we're going to focus. This is also going to help you wake up, being that this is a new time for you to wake up. Once again, we should be waking up 15 minutes prior to the normal start of our day. That way we can get this jump start underway. Alright, now we're moving on to the reverse lunge with a twist. Notice this day I am alternating my reverse lunges. The first day on Monday, I kind of wanted to focus more on one leg at a time. You can do either of those. Once again, that's 45 seconds of work. Almost there, keep it up. Okay, next we're going to do a 4-way ankle. Right now I'm walking for 20 seconds on my heels. You don't have to walk in place like this. You can walk down a hallway, around the living room, wherever you're doing this jumpstart program. It's a little bit easier for us to film just doing static walks. Next 20 seconds I'm going to walk on my toes, just changing the position of the feet and the ankles. The third one, we're going to walk on the very edge of our feet. It's called the blade of the foot. Being in this position is kind of nice for the brain. It kind of helps us out too when we roll our ankles off of a curb or we step weird. Your mind knows that you can be in this position and that it's kind of okay. And the last 20 seconds, we're going to walk on the inside of our feet. Like I said, you can be walking down the hallway. It's really going to help you with your toe off, and you should really try to maintain your gait cycle. It's kind of hard doing it statically because you can see my toes are kind of stuck up the whole time. And then we're going to foam roll those glutes. We did this on day 1, so this shouldn't be anything new. The side that we're working on is the leg that's up and the arm that is back. Make sure all of your body weight is over onto that side. 30 seconds on each side. And some pin and stretch. Thirty seconds on the other leg. Today is Walk Around Wednesday, so we need to focus on the entire lower extremity, not just up in the hip like we did on Monday. So with that being said, we have a couple of new foam rolling sequences for this day. Still going to work right up in that TFL muscle that attaches to the IT band. 30 seconds on each side. This guy likes to get really short, tight, and affect the whole leg when we're stuck in a seated position for long periods of time. If it's too hard to roll all the way down that IT band with one pass, you can break it up into two sections, an upper half and a lower half. That way you can kind of shorten up that roll and you can keep the pressure where you're trying to focus it. Almost there. Okay, next we're going to move on to the calves. I told you that we're going to focus on different portions of foam rolling today because it's the entire lower extremity. So 30 seconds on each calf. I'm crossing my legs, that way I've got a little bit more pressure on that down calf. Once again, I point my toes straight up and down to one side and to the other side, making sure that I get all the way around the back of the calves. Okay, then we're going to switch it up. All of that weight should be on the bottom calf. Toes in, toes straight up, toes out. And almost there. Okay, doing a little bit of foam rolling with a lacrosse ball and the plantar fascia. This guy gets tight overnight. It can also be tight from tight calves. Gonna roll all the way back to the heel, kind of where it attaches and blends into that Achilles tendon. We're gonna go right to the middle of the foot. So as you noticed, I was going up and down a couple of times, side to side a couple of times, clockwise and counterclockwise to really eat up that 30 seconds. Other side, up and down. There we go. Then we'll go side to side. And then make sure that you're going clockwise, counterclockwise, hit the whole bottom of the foot. You can also get it right up on those metatarsal heads and kind of bend your feet around them. That way we're trying to create that transverse arch. Okay, we're going to get into the 90-90 position. Once again, focus on your deep breathing. It's our reset button, especially if those hip flexors are screaming at you. Right, other side. Nice deep breaths, reset the mind, let it know it's okay to be in this position, especially if things are wanting to cramp or feel like they're pinching. Great job, almost done. One last breath. Okay, moving on, we've got the couch stretch. So it doesn't have to be a box like this. It can be your couch, ottoman, dinner table, chairs, anything that you can prop your feet up on. In this, I am squeezing my left glute. That's the same side that the knee is down. Whenever you squeeze that glute, the other side of the joint has to relax. It's called reciprocal inhibition. Go. And we're going to switch sides, nice and tall, and now I'm squeezing the right glute. If you need to make this stretch a little bit more intense, bring your knee closer to whatever your foot is up on top of, and then press your shoulders back, stay nice and extended, and activate the glute. You will most definitely feel the stretch in through that quad. Great job. We're moving on to a hamstring stretch. So I'm going to rotate 45 degrees towards the leg that's up, and then I'm going to hinge through the hips. Think belly button to your kneecap. In this stretch, you really don't have to go far, and you're going to feel that stretch immediately. You can also do the contract relax technique where you drive the heel down to the box and then fold forward just a little bit more. I'll do the same thing on the other side, 45 degrees, belly button to the knee. You can drive that heel down into the box or couch or ottoman and then sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. Notice I'm not rounding at the back, I'm staying nice and tall with the spine, and I'm just moving through the hip. Next we have a groin stretch. This is kind of a modified frog stretch. I've got one leg in the frog position, and the other leg is out to the side with the toes up towards the ceiling. Then I push my body backwards to sit on that kind of bent leg. You should feel a stretch in the straight leg through the inside of the leg. And we're going to switch sides, 30 seconds on both sides. Push backwards. It's okay to feel like one is a little bit harder than the other. You can always reset and then press backwards again. Almost there. Next we have calf and gastroc stretch. So with the knee locked out, bringing your hips towards the wall, we're going to be stretching the gastroc, the big calf muscles on the outside. When we bend the knee and we lean that knee towards the wall, we're going to be stretching the soleus, which lies underneath the gastroc muscle. Both of those are very important plantar flexors, and we've got to make sure that they're loosened up. So once again, I'm bringing my hip to the wall. It's going to stretch the gastrocs. About 15 seconds each. Then I drive that knee to the wall. That's going to loosen the tension of the gastroc and stretch the soleus. Okay, next we've got our activation. So we're going to go legs out to the side for 30 seconds. Really focusing on keeping a nice short foot on the stance leg and stretching that band with the other leg. You should feel this in through that lateral hip and through the stance leg's lower leg. Other side, 30 seconds. Doesn't really matter what's going on with the hands. You can practice your running mechanics with the hands. You can place them on the hips, kind of like I have. You can use a dowel or a broom to help with your balance. You can do some other skills like throwing a ball to make this more of a dynamic warm-up. We've got hip extension next. So once again, short foot with the stance leg, and we're kicking that heel straight back. Notice that I'm not changing the angle at the knee. It's coming straight from the hip. I'm also not going so far back that I'm arching my lower back. Whenever my glute finishes, that's the end of the movement. We've got 30 seconds of those on both sides. It's a small movement that's going to pay off huge dividends. Almost there. Okay, now we've got the band around the bottom of the foot. The stance leg, maintain that short foot position, activate the arch. The opposite leg is going to drive that knee up as high as you can, up to 90 degrees. Also pull the toes up and focus on your running mechanics. We're also trying to activate the hip flexors. Even though they're short and tight most of the times, they can also still be inhibited. So let's get those activated, and that's gonna help us with this walk around Wednesday. 30 seconds on the other side. Pause at the top for a quick second. Make sure you're able to hold that position and then return down. This is also really good for any field sports, running sports, sprinters, marathon runners. Really activate these hamstrings, especially before you go run or practice. Lastly, we have some monster walks. I'm doing 3 each direction just because we have a little bit of limited space, but you can go 1 minute total, 30 seconds on each leg. Just go one direction down a hallway or a backyard or garage or driveway and head back the other direction. Right now I'm just doing a minute straight, going 3 one way, 3 the other way. I've also got my heels driving the movement and not the toes. I'm really activating my glutes, trying not to activate that hip flexor or TFL muscle. If your toes go flying out to the side, you're more than likely going to activate those hip flexors. That's not always bad, but the TFL does tend to take over. Almost there. Thanks for joining us in the JumpStart warm-ups of your morning or day. We want to review a couple of things for the JumpStart program. Number 1, review your written goals from the night before. You should have 3 or 4 of those goals, solidifying what you want to accomplish the next day. Just review those, make sure you can plan for your day. Number 2, write 3 things that you're grateful for. And then lastly, prepare your meals for the day. If you fail to plan to fail. Cheers, guys.